All right, we're here with Wasssabi from Tri-State region. He generously donated to the Genesis 4 compendium, and now we're going to do some match analysis, and we're going to go over just the VODs. Wasssabi is a Fox main, and I guess before we begin, what are some of the key questions that you wanted to discuss?
I guess one of the key questions is I actually don't have much Sheik experience. I can do sort of like the basic tech skills, but in terms of neutral and picking up on situations where Sheiks are sort of like setting out traps or looking to bait me out in neutral would be really good, especially out of the corner, and then also how to work around needles and them coming down from the platform.
Okay.
That's something I think I've struggled with a lot.
Um, just real quick, what do you think your objectives are in the matchup?
Well, for Fox Sheik, I think my main objective is not even to build damage, but to get just Sheik off stage. Because once I can get her to up B, I can just sort of rinse and repeat wave shines, nair, up smash, and just keep on doing that. Sort of like the how Hacks does it, where you just keep on throwing them off, and it sort of leads to a kill.
Ooh. And how do we go about getting those kind of positions?
Well, her biggest like distance like she can get is normally the dash attack, so normally I have to look out for that the most. And then outside of that, it's more about watching the space she already is like in, because she has a lot of like tilts. So normally that you need to like whiff punish those with either grab or drill or nair.
All right, and let's see. Okay, I mean, I think that's a pretty good gist of what matchup objectives are. So let's go ahead and go into the match. I'm going to turn off the volume on the match.
I think I struggle with knowing when to back off against Sheik. So I think that's something like knowing when to like more so pull out the lasers or pull out the guns to force an approach versus when I can just pressure and take advantage of position and space.
Okay. So you're kind of going in blind then in terms of how you approach. You just kind of go like, I hope this works then, versus like, you did X, Y, and Z, so I know my approach works. Is like kind of the sense I'm getting.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's go ahead and so against JFlex, who's a pretty good top 100 player. So in the beginning, what I really, I'm from the Sheik side of things, so I can explain, what I'm really looking for. This is a very percentage-based matchup. You probably know this. Sheik, as me as Sheik, my objective is to rack up about 45 damage on you. And the reason why is because once we hit that 45% on Fox, the matchup completely changes. Because as Sheik, as Fox actually, the one thing that annoys me is anytime you're at low percentage, you should be crouching and punishing it if it's a bad move. And by bad move, I mean anything that's not forward air, needles, grabs, or back airs. Are technically punishable on hit. So if I forward tilt you, I jab you, I do a weak hit on you, you should be able to punish me and do more damage. So that's one thing to know. So really just knowing that in the beginning of the game, like the win conditions for Sheik against you are going to be those fairs, back airs, needles to a certain extent, and grabs. Like you should not be giving those up because those are hits that you can't trade back with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So right here, unless the Sheik is really campy and unwilling to engage you, what I really like to do is I always explain this as the magic tent of Sheik. It's like a 45-degree triangle. Do you see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I say this 45-degree triangle is that for anywhere outside of it, then I can't get in quick enough without running into a needle or forward air. Does that make sense? But anytime I'm underneath Sheik in this golden triangle zone, that's actually really good for Fox. And the reason why is because Sheik doesn't have any hitboxes to beat you. and you can just kind of stay underneath her, and you can back air her, you can shark with an up air, you can nair in certain cases, but this is a really good spot for you. So I'm going to slow it down. We're going to go at 0.5. So here, let's see. Oh, there are two. So here, my prime objective if I'm Fox is eventually you're going to have to, the Sheik's going to have to land, right? She's going to have to go down. And if she's above me at any point, then I'm looking to stay underneath, because if she goes down to any platform, I can always threaten a back air, and it's going to beat Sheik from below. So here, there's no reason to go for a drill. It seemed kind of random because the only way that happens is if she specifically goes down that way. So instead what you could do is just react. So visual cues, oh, she jumped, I'm going to threaten a back air and add free damage. So here, so you need to be just very mentally present. Once again, what are the objectives for Sheik at this percentage?
Grabs, needles, and spaced forward air bears.
Okay, so most of the time she's going to be jumping, and that's what we're really going to have to pay attention to. Unless J-Flex is really ballsy, and from my understanding of J-Flex, J-Flex is like a really defensive player, and he's not going to take super big risks, so I imagine he's going to go for a lot of aerials at this percent. So what you really want to do is, if you're going to play we're going to run in-game, your goal is to get underneath J-Flex and cut him off so that if he jumps here, you're underneath him and his fair is not going to hit you. Or at the very least, you're so deep in that you can crouch cancel and grab him or do something back to him. Mm-hmm. So you see how he jumps? So here I would have back aired. But it's understanding objectives. So crouch cancel, no punish, which is fine. So this is where you can get a little bit of a punish, and it's right here. So I call this holding position, and so this is like a really big advantage for you because Sheik is off the ledge, and I'm not sure if J-Flex can do invincible ledge dash forward tilt. Mm-hmm. So here you can hold this spot, and it's really going to be difficult for Sheik to deal with. And this is just an understanding of how Sheik is threatening to you. What can Sheik really do in this spot to hit you?
Mm-hmm. Oh, do you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
Okay. So she can invincible ledge dash F tilt or up tilt. She can invincible ledge dash grab, or she can come up with a fair.
All right. And so in the beginning, usually for these cases, I'm not going to give them credit unless it's plup. Mm-hmm. So really the only hitbox that's going to hurt you is a fair that hits here. So really you can just stand dash. If you're going to dash dance, I would say this is the farthest you go. So if you're going to dash dance, go here and here. And you can maybe make it tempting for Sheik to try to hit you with fair, but if he whiffs, you get a free up tilt or a back air if you space it correctly. Alternatively, if he does the waveland into stage, you can wall him off with back air, because if he tries to grab you, he's going to whiff if you jump and back air, or if he tries to do a forward tilt at this percentage, it's really bad. Mm-hmm. So he ended up doing forward tilt. The issue here is that you gave him way too much space. See how there's a difference between being present here and threatening and being all the way here?
Yeah.
So if you want to apply pressure to Sheik, it's just understanding what's the most threatening thing. So you lost a little bit of corner pressure, but see, it's like so miserable. You even got the shine here on the crouch cancel. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so here in these tough spots, Sheiks are pretty straightforward. They're gonna do one of 3 to 4 things. They're gonna spam tilts, they're gonna jump, they're gonna roll, or they're gonna hold shield. It's one of those 4 options. So when I'm in this spot, I am looking for a hit here, but I'm paying very special attention to how the Sheik player is reacting to me. And this is where you have to take mental notes. If J-Flex is under pressure in the corner like this, is he a tilter? Does he like to shield? Does he like to roll into the stage? Does he like to jump? And technically, if you're good, really good at this and really familiar with all the situations, you can react. So here, I'm like, okay, he likes to tilt a lot here. Even though he didn't hit you with that tilt, that gives you a lot of information in the future that he likes a forward tilt.
Mm-hmm.
Love this punish. Good punish. You get the third. No, you miss. Okay, that's. I like the idea. Okay, so not too bad. Here, if you're going to extend, you barely got into the magic 45 angle here. So if you can cut him off, you kind of threaten. Sheiks with platforms are very interesting here, and what I've realized is that you kind of have to respect them a lot more in 2017 with shield dropping. So here, like if you were to just look at this, does Fox have any chance to hit Sheik?
No, right now, no.
Okay, so right then and there, we're not really looking for a hit. We're looking to establish our positioning, which is, once again, the magic 45 zone.
Does that still apply with like shield drops?
Yes, it does, because you don't have to do anything when you're underneath the platform. So let's say you're here and Sheik is there. If you choose not to do anything, what can Sheik really do to you? If Sheik shield drops into you, you up tilt and kill him.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So here, what I would end up doing is I'd respect Sheik here, and I would just stand here and see what Sheik does. And in this situation, let's say you did not jump out of position there, I would just sit there and see this. Like, what are they going to do on a platform if you're underneath? Are they going to shield? Are they going to jump? Are they going to try to attack you? And you want to take notes of that. So if the situations play out here, 9 times out of 10, they're most likely going to put up a shield, and you probably can't contest it. And in that case, you're just going to have to respect it.
Okay.
But keep in mind, even if you can't hit him, you also have to remind yourself he can't hit you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they can't see you.
Oh, weird.
Oh, let me put the zoom in here. I have to do it on the...
No worries.
Might be. I just realized that it... So, stream at home, they can, he can see it, but he can't. You guys on the stream can't see it. So, going here, can you see the screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. So here, we're going to just stand here. Wow, this is really hard and complicated to do now, because I have to press play here. And Sheik is here. So we can just wait it out. But the key thing is you want to take mental notes. Is this guy going to jump? Is this guy going to sit there and shield? And, we can play a stalemate situation. But the good news is that if you're underneath Sheik on platform, you're not pressured to do anything, but Sheik is, because the shield life of a Sheik is limited. It's eventually going to pop, and you can eventually poke.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what ended up getting you in trouble here. It's because you had, realistically, when you look at that in hindsight, like, you had no chance of hitting him there, and you got yourself caught, and you ended up taking damage. And unfortunately, that may have caused you to actually... No, you don't die, because J-Flex is not good at edgeguarding this situation. No, I mean, to be fair, that's a difficult edgeguard. So here, this is a really good zone for you.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I know what I'm going to do. Okay. Sorry, stream. I'm going to have to screw... Okay. We're going to just draw on the screen. Okay. Here, do you think you could hit Sheik?
Maybe with the Sakurai combo, but I'm a little iffy because I traded as well, so I could just jump Waveline onto the platform to take more space and see if he jumps out or to do what he does.
Okay, yeah, that's exactly what you need to do. That's really good. So what I would do is I go up just enough that I full hop once, just enough that as they're going down, if they don't do anything, I can just jump back air with them or do jump up air. And they'll do one of two things. They'll try to attack into you, or they're going to do a double jump. Here, you don't have to commit. So if you full hop once and they commit to the double jump, then you can land. And now they have no double jump, and you get a kill if you can land the back air.
Mhm.
Does that make
So
sense?
yeah, so you're basically just like checking them to
Yeah.
see what to do.
I mean,
Okay.
the best example I can give of this is I always use this example. Either you watch Leffen's Fox shark people, and he's incredibly good at it, or watch Meta Knight versus Snake in Brawl, and watch how Mewtwo Meta Knight covers the space below, and how he forces Snake out of his options trying to come down. And you learn a lot from that, from the
All right.
decision trees.
And you said so Mewtwo King Meta Knight versus
Against any Snake.
Okay. Interesting. I've never checked that out, so
Yeah. It's like the perfect tutorial video for sharking. So jump once, and in these situations where you ever catch a Sheik, and this also applies to characters like Marth. Trying to think of other characters. Samus not so much because they have bomb jumps. You can always check him, but you never want to be in a spot where you full hop and they land faster than you can. If they're able to, if they're in a recovery position from up above, and they're able to touch the ground before you did something wrong.
hmm
So I think you still could have landed. And this is just really paying attention to drift. No reason for you to run right when you have to be very attentive to how they're drifting. And here, I would just hold my ground because if he goes anywhere here, I can immediately back air. And if he decides to drift like this way, I'm still in position to cover that too.
hmm
Oh, they can't see. So I always have to draw on this one, which is a little chaotic. So instead of going this way, we always want to be present here. Just realize that they can't go too much forward. So if they go in, you can bully them. And if they go this way, you're still there. But because you chose to dash right, you don't have a really good coverage here. And as he goes down, he could probably back air you.
Okay.
I don't know what actually happens here.
Could you use start to like pause and start, by the way?
Not in the same window.
Oh, that's rough. Okay.
But you end up getting the first kill, so it still ended up working out for you, and it played out. Sheik is incredibly weak, and I love that you baited that. So that's another way, but it's a little less guaranteed, mainly because if Sheik chose not to throw out a move, he could have landed and he could have shielded. So that turned into, from a guaranteed situation where you probably could have back-aired him, to a situation where it kind of relied on him throwing out a hitbox. But if he chose not to do a hitbox, then you wouldn't have gotten that kill.
Yeah. Yeah, I think overall, like, I've been thinking about my Fox, and I'm realizing that I have, like, a lot of, like, extra movement, sort of. I don't really know when, to stop, or when's a good idea to stop moving and just claim, like, a spot.
I would just say, like, fundamentally, you always ask yourself, what is their range?
hmm
And if you want to play the threatening game, where like you're up close to them, like being like just outside their range versus being all the way across the stage, like going that much forward back is not going to help you.
hmm
Like you want to be as like present just outside their range if you want to play that route. If you know the Sheik can't approach you and they suck at approaching you, then you give them a little bit more space. And if they love to just swing at you and run at you, you give them a little bit more space. If you want to keep the pressure on them, then you want to just be right outside their range and
being,
make it really difficult for them.
and being right outside their range doesn't mean that you're moving in and out, per se.
You can, but you don't want to be so far out that you're giving them free space to work with.
Okay.
So you can go in and out in a way that you're luring them. It's like, oh, like maybe I can hit this fox with my forward air. So you kind of did that with the back air down there. You baited that situation out, but you don't want to be so far out that like you have no threat at hitting them either.
Okay.
So interesting spot here. You're gonna have to deal with the recovery.
hmm
So here's what I do. There's many ways you can go about it. You can play the let's grab the ledge route. I kind of look, and have you ever played like I don't know, those childhood games where you're trying to get to the other side and there are these people
Yeah.
like trying to stop you. Like
Yeah.
pretend you're that guy that's trying to run past your opponent. And so here's what I mean. So you watch here, and let's see. All right, so as I'm here, I wouldn't recommend jumping because you're rather limited in where you can go. And in fact, if I saw you jump here, I would immediately kick you.
Yeah.
I dashed hands, and as soon as they pick a committed side to me, like let's say they go left or they go right, if you don't want to engage them, you go the opposite way. So here, I see that he would have committed right. I guess you try to full hop onto the platform, a little bit risky because they could throw a hitbox at you, and you'd probably instantly lose that. But you end up getting yourself in a bad spot. So the way I maneuver in vulnerability, if I really don't want to get hit, is I make them pick a side, and then I go around them.
Okay.
And you can pick a route. Of course, if they're more in tune, if they're going to flex their double jump, you want to be very proactive in reacting to what they do. But you can easily find a route for yourself that you can at least survive for 2 seconds without getting hit by their invulnerability. So you get hit here, you're probably going to be in a bad spot to lose your lead. Ooh, really bad DI there. Dash attack, DI, is always down and away.
Down and away?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that should have not killed you. Oh my gosh, Fox privilege.
Yeah.
Okay. In this spot, this spot here, if you're really that scared that they're going to do something for you and you want to reset, because in this position, do you know what you're doing or do you feel nervous?
I know I'm feeling nervous, but now
Okay.
like watching it, I think I should just I saw him commit to a jump, so I could wave dash out into the center stage.
Yeah, I mean that works. And in this spot, I'm immediately rolling right if I don't feel comfortable with the shield that small. And this way, if they roll, they have no Sheik really has no way of hitting me unless they specifically go for a wave dash back air. But even then, I feel like that would be a weak hit at best if they specifically called that out. Most likely, they're going to try to engage on the platform, or they're just going to stand there. I've never seen a Sheik actually wave dash back air. So, you could always reset because Sheik's positioning here means that he can't really hit you if you just roll. Instead, you get yourself in a really bad spot, and you get killed. But that could have been avoided completely. Decent first stock. I like some of the things you've been doing so far. Okay, so this is where you lose ground. Let's see. That was a little preemptive. I'm okay with that. What I'm not really okay with is the second full hop jump. And the reason why is because you lose your presence, whereas if you ended up just choosing to go this way, if the Sheik jumps, you can catch him still. But now because you've committed here and he didn't jump, you're actually not in a really good spot. Either one of two things happen. Either he can maybe poke you, or the Sheik will just end up going to center stage. And she's now out of the corner. Do you see how that happened?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is one thing you want to be careful of because JFlex is now kind of realizing how you're playing. So he's calling out your jump. Do you see that?
Yeah.
So now he's being very observant, and he's a good player. So it makes sense. He's gonna consciously jump. And so when I get called out that hard, I go, okay, he's really paying attention to when I'm jumping. So how do we solve this? So let's say we go into that same exact situation. Let's say we're in this skirmish again, and he's very in tune to calling out my jumps. What I would end up doing if he's that preemptive is I run at him just outside of 4 tilt range, and I wave dash in place. Or add in one little dash dance outside of forward tilt so that I see what kind of preemptive reaction he does. Because with Sheik, to counter Fox's approaches, they kind of have to guess. They have to throw out that forward tilt a little bit early, or they have to jump, or they have to run into you. The issue with that as Sheik is that if Sheik gets caught jumping and you wave dash in place, then you can run in and put me in a really bad spot.
Okay. But wasn't I cornered there? So, because yeah, that situation I always get caught out by Sheiks.
Okay.
And,
Okay, so let's play this situation out then. So we're gonna go back.
Mhm.
The thing here is that it's not that bad for you, and here's why: he's not facing you.
Mhm.
And in this situation, because he's not facing you, you're gonna be okay. Not because what's the fundamental counter to shielding is grabbing, but he's not facing you, so you can afford to wait.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just trying to think about it because Peaches and Sheiks especially catch me with that a lot. It's just jumping out of shield when cornered.
Yeah, that's because they have been getting a read on you that you're jumping a lot. So what you can do is you don't. The key phrase here, and this is what really top players are good at, is they don't panic. You'll see Armada, for example, he can get caught in a large extended corner, but he's willing to hold shield and react to whatever comes his way. He's willing to wait it out to see what kind of move his opponent does and then form a defense or form a reaction to it. So you don't want to immediately respond here every time. You can afford to wait, and in this position, because Sheik is not facing you, you're okay.
Okay.
So look, because what he did there was preemptive.
Mhm.
Still fine. You played it out pretty well. A little unfortunate. Let's see how you got hit. I think maybe up tilt would have worked a little bit better. I don't know. It's a little tough because Sheik wasn't quite on the ground, and that's just kind of like a little nuance of Fox's thing.
Yeah, the air shine. Or,
yeah, your shine didn't work because he was not off the ground, and he was able to act out a grab quicker.
Yeah.
All right. So big thing here, one thing I'm really noticing in general is that you missed 4 wave shines already, and this is the first minute of the game.
Yeah.
And I imagine, like, with 4 wave shines, you probably could have gotten about 50 more damage plus position, and potentially you'd be up a full stock. So that's one thing we really need to work on, is the hit confirms off the shine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing this was a little bit of just a random flub, or
yeah.
That seemed a little thoughtless. You get caught, mistake, lose position. Okay, so not too bad. We'll talk about mid-screen coming up, but I want to really just emphasize here that instead of what could have been a pretty meaty punish for you, you end up missing. You make 2 tech flubs that end up getting you caught and getting you into that bad position. So I say that's about like a 40 to 50% swing that just happened there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're now going to talk about mid-range game, and this is like the really weird spot, right? I'm guessing this is the spot you're probably going to have the most questions of.
Yeah.
So the way I view Sheik is that she has a very shoebox-like range. Do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is, like, she could really only hit here with her tilts, her forward airs, and all that fun stuff and grabs, or she can run in and dash attack or back air, or dash attack or boost grab. This is Sheik's actually really weak spot here. Do you understand why?
Yeah, because when she dash attacks, that's her farthest reaching move to really like extend her range.
Yeah.
But her hurtbox and hitbox are like lowered because of the form that she does when doing it.
Yeah, and the big thing here is that it's really hard for Sheik to really contest and like run at you and throw like an aerial here, because that's a tremendous risk for her to take, for her to jump here, because if you call it out and you get underneath Sheik, you get free damage, or you can back air her. So so you want to pretend that she's like a walking shoe.
Okay.
Like where she can threaten you here, and she can threaten you like this. And if she's running at you, you don't have to really be scared. You can essentially throw out a wall there, and this is something Hax is really good at: is throwing out a back air where the dash attack or boost grab would hit you. Throwing out a drill in place. Drill in place is actually incredible. It flat out counters dash attack, and it beats out boost grab if they do it. So that's what I'm looking for in mid-screen game. Now the big thing here is that her range is even more limited. So there's two aspects of Sheik. Sheik being able to run at you, and Sheik not able to run at you. Because Sheik is not facing you, she needs a little bit of time to accelerate. So her range is actually really bad. It's essentially just this. That's way different from a shoebox if she's running at you, and you have to kind of respect her space.
Because if she's in dash animation, she has to either grab or dash attack.
Or choose not to do anything. But even if she's dashing at you, I just want to point out how limited the space she covers. Like, she can't hit you like this like diagonal range. The only thing that really works is like Nair. And even then, it's pretty risky from Sheik because it's so slow. Because, yeah. So you respected her, and so even if you didn't realize it or not, you ended up getting her to shield because J-Flex was thinking, like, how much space can I take? And you wave dash back. So, like, her dash attack and her grab weren't going to hit you. And so J-Flex kind of realized, hey, like, he wave dash back, you wave dash back. Now I'm going to hold shield. And so now the neutral game plays very differently because really Sheik is terribly limited here. Now, the big thing here, if you really want to get into this spot very often, this is another part of the neutral game where you have the advantage and where if you get one solid play here, you add damage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So here, it's really tough to say going in blind because I don't know what J-Flex is going to be doing in shield. So what I would be doing, depending on how committal you want to be, you can try run and shine and then not commit to anything to see if you can bait a roll. That's what like Mango typically does. He does it so fast that he'll like do run and shine. If it hits, he hit confirms into up smash. If he doesn't, if I end up rolling, he ends up following me on my roll. But of course, run and shine doesn't work against every option. So if you want to play it a little bit safer and you don't want to risk too much, what I would really do is Sheik's effective range is really bad here. Really, like the only options I have are Nair, which you can cover, shield, roll, let go of shield, and try to do something. But if you really want to like bait out something, I would just dash dance here out of grab and tilt range and see what they do. And then you take notes of that in the future. Is J-Flex the type of player that, and the couple reads I look for are this. Is J-Flex the type of player that's willing to hold shield for a really long time and not attack you? If that's the case, then you can be a lot more aggressive in the future. Is J-Flex the type of player that's going to react to you jumping? Is J-Flex the type of player that once you go in, he's going to commit to a roll? Is J-Flex the type of player that's willing to jump onto a platform? Be very observant of this. So you call this jump, and I would keep that in my back pocket. He loves to jump in these confrontations. That's going to be really important for you. All right, let's see. One mistake I would say here is I would have landed personally because you can't contest him here. You're out of position to back air him.
Yeah.
I would have rather prefer that you just land.
Yeah, and he's landing before I land.
Yeah. And so you get stuck there. The back air was... I mean, if you wanted to save yourself, I would have just like jumped on the platform. But that's what ends up getting you caught there. Is that extra jump.
So dash attack's always down and away, right?
Yeah, always down and away. I guess the one other way you could have saved yourself here. That's fine. Here, once again, just comes back to fundamentals. I actually do not think that J Flex, based on his position, could have covered a tech roll away if he did it immediately.
Mhm.
You tech rolling in means that he's gonna hit you.
Okay.
Like, does that make sense based on
Yeah.
position? He has no dash, and if he really wanted to react to tech roll away, which I don't think he could have, he would have to input a dash really quick, react to it, and forward air, which unfortunately would be a really tough cover given the spot. Like if he wanted to cover the forward air here, he would have had to already been in the middle of the platform underneath you. So you essentially gave him a really free reactable punish, and that's like the one thing he could really cover.
Okay.
Makes sense? If you have any questions, go ahead and ask.
No, yeah. It makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
just digesting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I love that you just kind of just played that position out. Here, you just gotta back off here. It's a really awkward spot because you're at the end of the platform that you're not gonna have that running momentum to really hit.
Hmm.
So here, I would disengage. I'd respect it because like if I had a little bit more platforms to work with to run, then I would go for it personally. Instead, just play the position game. Go land underneath the
And take the triangle space.
yeah, just go underneath and then make her make a tough play at hitting you. You do not always have to try to hit Sheik. Like there are positions where you might be frustrated because you want to press buttons and you want to hit because you're Fox, but realize at the same time there are many positions where, although you can't hit them, they also can't hit you.
Mhm. And in those stalemate situations, like you're trying to react to them while they're trying to react to you, right?
Except in those stalemate situations, if they're on top platform, they're eventually going to have to do something because their shield's going to deteriorate.
Okay. Oh, and then she doesn't have any hitboxes going down, so even though it's like a stalemate situation, Fox has sort of a slight advantage.
Yeah, and there are many checks you can do on them that can get them to do something and if they don't do it, there's nothing punishing to you. So let's say they're on top platform and they just love to spam shield drop. You can single jump once into their platform, and you can bait them. But if they choose not to shield drop, you land and there's no consequence to you. But if they do the shield drop, you can punish them. So there are situations where you can bait, but if they do not take the bait, you lose nothing.
Okay. All right.
All right. I'm a little bit scared here because, once again, it was the jab put them in the air. So I know that as Sheik, I'm going to be spamming down smash because my lag is so minimal that I could actually probably grab you. And I probably could have. If I was in J-Flex's shoes, this is actually really risky. And I'm surprised he wasn't able to grab you there.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I see that there's just a lack of awareness on this part. Once again, you always want to be in a position where you can grab the ledge first.
Mm-hmm.
But so Waveland, check, but they're running up B, so no wave's gonna hit. But that's just a lack of knowledge on your end, so I don't really blame you. Your engaging here was questionable. You didn't need to engage. Once you see the Sheik jump, you can go back and get center stage.
Because there's no point in contesting it.
I mean, if you didn't jump, you could have probably contested it, but there's no reason for you to jump there.
Okay.
Love that you baited, you didn't commit, you disengaged. All right, love that. I love that you just waited out. That was a really good sequence of plays for you.
Thanks.
Okay. You played the route perfectly. You ended up. This is actually like really good. Aside from getting needled there, you ran the route well. You ended up running away and taking minimal damage, but you end up getting hit here. So it's a little unfortunate. What was that?
I always have struggling to know what to do after Sheik's needles. Like, is it like Falco lasers where you can throw out like you know how Leffen throws out an up tilt or like just doesn't move afterwards or runs back afterwards. So I'm not
Um,
sure like
uh,
how to act when I get needled.
okay, so that's actually a good question. So if it's a diagonal needle and they're actually high and they single needle you, you actually can act before them.
Okay.
It's only if they're like super close to the ground and they do the ground needle that they're able to get stuff on you. But I don't know the exact frame data, but if they're like that high, I don't think they should be able to hit you. So if we're gonna play this like fundamentally speaking, I just know off the 45-degree angle rule that unless Sheik jumps, that even if he needles me, I'm not gonna get hit by fair, and that's just a little bit of a spacing knowledge.
Okay. Yeah, because I think I get needled and see I panic jump right there. And I think that's what happens is I
Yeah.
panic and then they get the fair or like a tilt or something afterwards.
Yeah, I think that was just a lack of the spacing knowledge. But I knew just right then and there that Sheik wasn't going to be able to hit you with fair.
Okay.
So a little tidbit: the magic 45 triangle is really important.
Hmm.
Who's Jason D? Anyway, somebody's talking about you.
That's just Jason, part of SBT.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here, not an optimal punish. Mango's not the fox you want to be watching for this. Either drill or shine. Nair at low percentage, never going to be good.
Hmm.
I can CC it, and you're not going to be able to get much unless you call out the CC and do another aerial. Here in the spot, you got handed on a silver platter a run and shine or a drill.
Okay.
So that whole punish sequence, another 40 to 50% that you could have done.
Hmm.
So look at how like kind of that like put you out of a position. So like this is like kind of like the worst kind of transition where you don't get the correct punish and you end up in an awkward spot. So and then you don't hit confirm into the grab.
Hmm.
And so now you're look at the position that you were in.
Yeah, that's horrible. Oh, that looks so bad.
So because like even though you got center, you don't have a comfortable dash, and so it was like an indirect situation where you're caught in a decently rough spot,
Hmm.
um, and you end up taking a lot of damage. So do you see how like those little things, like just like executing, turned a swing of where she should probably be at like 50 damage to you end up taking like 80 and dying, or like you end up dying. You don't take 80.
Yeah.
All right. So here, this is a really weird spot. So here, what I would do is if they jump up like this, the only move I'm really looking to do is back air. And if I don't feel like I'm really comfortable in the position here to engage, I really just go. Most Sheiks are very scared here and they're willing to throw a hitbox, and I'm just going to wait for them to throw out the hitbox, outspace it, and punish them.
Hmm.
A lot of Sheiks just love. There are very few Sheiks that are reactive enough that if they realize that you're waiting, they're just going to grab the ledge for free. Most Sheiks are willing to throw a hitbox here.
Okay.
So up to you just to kind of wait it out and just outspace it. So once you see that forward air or the back air or their nair or whatever aerial, you just outspace it. You know, if they nair above you like that, you do up tilt. If they're on the side of you, they throw out their fair and you can't up tilt them, then you back air.
Hmm.
So now you're in a rough spot. Fortunately, that's a really tough cover for. Okay, you end up dying. Oh, no, you don't end up dying. That's actually a really tough edge guard for Sheik because she's an explosion.
Hmm.
Okay, not a good follow up from J-Flex. All right.
Okay, so the drill traded, and then I tried to air dodge onto the platform, but maybe I could just go for ledge, or
Let's
not
see.
too sure. I'm trying to think.
Um,
I guess I could just dip low and just try to sweet spot ledge grab, right? But Sheik's down smash
This
covers.
is like really hard because we're going at half speed, so it's like tough to react to.
Yeah.
I mean, you could shine.
Shine stall, yeah.
Yeah. Big thing here.
I have the needles hit though. If I shine stalled.
I think if the needle reflected, they end up getting hit, and you should be able to get enough time to just jump.
Okay.
Oh, okay. JFlex says air dodge was optimal. You just missed it. Let me see. I'm trying to like look at it again.
Oh wait, who said air dodge was optimal?
JFlex.
Oh no, that's not JFlex. That's just Jason.
Oh, okay.
Another cheat.
All right. So like one other thing I just kind of observed from this stock, just like looking at it, is you got to learn the quickest way to punish stuff like that. And I don't understand why you went for a laser.
Yeah.
So in this spot, I'm most likely going to be running and shining. I think that's strictly better. Or if you don't feel comfortable, down tilt. Actually, low percentage, so it's a little weird. Let's see. But I noticed that J-Flex just dash attacked in front of you, and you didn't do anything. All right, you got panicked? I think in general you kind of try to force too much. The panic, I'm Fox trying to recover, probably set in on this stock.
It definitely did. That was so questionable.
Yeah. So here, I mean, this was just not an adjustment you made because I'm just going to count the number of dash attacks that JFlex did on this stock. Let's see. Oh, all right. So let's see how many dash attacks JFlex does. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But I know that that's tough on last stock because you're trying to adjust. You're like, oh my gosh, it's like last stock, and you get nervous. But that's one read you should have picked up on.
Yeah. That's good to know, like, going into the future.
Yeah. So it's just being, like, mentally aware. Like, I don't know what your mindset is. I can't really infer too much, but it seemed like you kind of went into panic mode, and your awareness and your decision-making kind of went out the door.
Yeah, it definitely did.
All right, here, so FD, no platforms, so whatever our object is. You can play this multiple ways, but I guess my general philosophy, let's see how JFlex moves. If JFlex is not really willing to approach me, I'm just going to shoot lasers for a little bit. And usually what tends to happen is that most Sheiks aren't good at approaching. They either just spam dash attack or boost grab, or they jump prematurely, and you can just react and punish them.
Okay.
Let's see. All right. Everything is so much faster when it's not at half speed.
Yeah.
All right. So once again, classic spot. When she can shield, very limited. You get a good, decent punish. I would, try to get a few drills in. If you're going to overshoot anyway, which I think was a pretty smart call out. So drill's good. Drill would have been... I mean, if you're going to go for an overreaching nair, then I think overshooting drill also serves a very similar function. But once again, you have to pay attention to percentages. 13%, it's very crotch cancelable. And in certain situations, you might get grabbed.
Yeah.
Could have added a little bit, even the second one, if you just drilled there. Because look at the spacing. If nair is going to hit here, drill is also going to very likely hit here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just the move choice was wrong.
In this spot, so this is a corner situation, right?
Yeah, I tried to down tilt, thinking he'd try to go in.
Yeah. So this is a really fun, flexible percentage for you. And this is where risk reward comes into play, just in case you get hit. If you see that jump and you're very nervous, roll into the stage. And
Okay.
here's why. The big meaty hits are the grab, and the reason why rolling in is really good here is because if they try to roll like react tomahawk grab, like that's so slow that you can just shine out. On the flip side, if Sheik is ready to react to that, which is really hard to do, like Sheik is preparing for the fair, but if you roll into her in this spot, it becomes very awkward for her. That even if Sheik, let's say, instead throws a fair, throws a nair or a back air to like try to catch behind you, catch you. You're at 14%, and it's gonna be a weak hit, and you can probably you can crotch cancel shine it.
Yeah, okay.
And you get out of that spot. You might trade a little bit of percentage, but any hit will go behind to the center of the stage, and you get your position back for the cost of 10% if they react correctly. But you might be able to do some damage too.
So I can sort of treat it like Marth, like where I just roll in when I know I can just crouch cancel, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you pay attention to jump heights, so
Mm-hmm.
so like right there, if I roll in, what can Sheik really do to punish me really hard?
Really nothing.
Yeah, if you're really ballsy, you can just run in and shine.
Mm-hmm.
The down tilt specifically is calling out like a whiff forward tilt or like a jab. Down tilt in this spot, it's a little risky. And if you were at like 60, like if you miss, you might die.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you go towards the center of the stage, let's say you're at 60 instead of 14, nearer and back air, if you DI down, you're going to get a tech away and you get out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You missed the punish. Good idea. That's where down tilt's good, right? So you can either react to the spot dodge, but a little hard to do, or you see the shield come up. It's going to be really hard for Sheik to jump in time. And if unless J-Flex immediately acts out of shield, which is very unlikely, then you can throw a down tilt here. But if she's already like moving around, not in shield, then it's a little bit tougher to commit to a down tilt because most of the time they like to jump. So I like it. Good idea. The down tilt was good there. What I don't like here, so as soon as you see that, how many jumps does Sheik have here?
She doesn't have any more jumps.
Yeah, so you can cut her off. You can. It's a little tough here. If J-Flex is really good and reacts, you can just nair into him. If he's the type of person that's like really willing to throw hitboxes and not really patient, I would kind of pay attention to how they're going to drift here. And if they drift towards the ledge, you can just wave dash forward.
Okay.
But going this far back serves you no purpose. Look at how out of position you are now.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's not going to be able to hit. I mean, she wouldn't have been able to hit you even if you're like another like character length forward. It looks like.
Yeah.
All right. No reason to double jump there. So this is another spot where you could have gone and punish if you just stood your ground. Mm-hmm. And somehow so what ends up happening here is because now you're let's see. What causes that situation where you're now like a fish out of water?
It's that nair.
That nair. So like now it's like even if you land, now you're in a very awkward spot because like you don't have your movement anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And now this happens.
Yeah.
But that could have been a situation where if you just stood still and played position, you could have probably killed J-Flex or at least like tacked on like 30 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Good crouch cancel. Good DI. That you actually DI'd correctly. Let's see if you DI'd the other ones. A little bit of tough. This first dash attack was a little bit tough because it was a reverse hit, so don't blame you. Second one was a good DI. Oh, that was a really good angle.
Oh, that was unfortunate by him.
So in this spot, this is actually like a really fun spot. This is just game sense and awareness. I'm at 84, and this is like the really strange percent where grabbing is not the most beneficial for me.
Yeah.
So examining that risk reward scenario, right? Like you got kind of put in this weird scenario where Sheik is running at you with invulnerability. In this spot, I'm willing to throw a shield here. And the reason why is because if he grabs me, he's still going to have to tech chase me.
Okay.
At this percent, if he gets a dash attack on you, either you DI in and you die, or you DI away and now you're cornered, and or you might get in this edge guarding position.
Mm-hmm.
But you grab ledge, so it's not the end of the world. Good stuff. Oh, okay. This is one classic trick of Fox, which I think you seem to know, is that if they left to aerial into forward tilt, your full hop beats it every time.
Yeah, Amsa was the one that told me that where Armad just runs in shields and just keeps on full hopping drill.
Yeah.
But I think he SDI'd my shine into up smash.
Let's see.
I think that's what caused it. And I overshot, and then I just got fared.
You just missed your punish. You could have shined it.
Mm-hmm.
You had enough time to punish it.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was just another mistake. It's unfortunate, but I mean, if there's a big takeaway here, is that your lack of execution on the follow up on shines is probably what costed you a lot of situations.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So being able to like react when I get the shine hit,
Yeah.
something that's really costing me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this was a YOLO gamble. It feels like
Yeah.
there's like no reason for it. You can play your dash, and you got him in the corner. You didn't need to commit here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a very unfortunate situation because you gave Sheik gold on giving him a 0% grab.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just a little bit of an overcommitment because you're blind reading at that scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Not the end of the world. The roll-in was okay. I guess in this spot, oh, okay. That was really good. It was a little ambiguous. I would actually test J-Flex's reaction by tech rolling away.
Okay.
But who knows? I mean, if you tech rolled away and he dash attacks you, DI down and left,
Mm-hmm.
and you get out of the combo at 54. Instead, you get grabbed. Rough spot. Ooh, a little bit of a delay. If you dash chance was a little bit tighter, it would have worked. So be prepared to always react to dash attack. That's one of the golden rules of playing against Sheik in this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't get hit. Should have reacted. Drill in place is probably the optimal punish if you can execute that correctly. I guess it once again comes down to the shoehorn analogy, right? Let's see. Let me see what the situation was before. Shoehorn. The only thing that will really kill you there is dash attack, or if there's ever a situation where dash attack or grab's the only thing you kill, and then he's running at you, drill or back air. Drill at lower percentages, but still, you got the grab, missed the follow up.
Mm-hmm.
See, do you see how the aerial's so good at stuffing? You did it here.
With a reverse nair.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So pretty much everything will beat Sheik running.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. I mean, just jumping in that spot removes the 50-50.
Mm-hmm. It looks like he's scouting out my jabs now. Because he just immediately crouch canceled after it.
Yeah. To be fair, it's what's the function of the jab?
Can you just rewind? or I think rewind a little more. All right.
Okay.
Why did I jump there? So I knew that a shine wouldn't hit, but I was hoping to continue pressuring him, so that's why I jabbed.
Okay. So in this spot, you nair. What you can do instead, this is going to be a really tough follow up for you.
Hmm.
Don't commit and just play and get your positioning in. You jump and you lose it, and because you commit to the nair, it's really awkward.
Okay.
A jab at 50. I forget the percentage. You can look on Drug Fox's blog about Fox jab. But yeah, you want to be the people at the really top level are going to abuse crouch canceling, and the moment you do it, like you're going to get punished really hard.
Hmm.
Let's see. What gets you hit?
Nair, actually.
Nair. That was a reverse hitbox that looked like a little tough to DI. I don't blame you. That's a tough spot. FD is really weird, and this is kind of like the Mango line of reasoning. Everybody has their different philosophies.
Hmm.
I don't blame the ledge. Is that something that JFlex goes for often? Because my understanding is that New York Foxes really love going to the edge.
Yeah, that's very true.
Is that, let's see. I kind of look and I see, like, I tend to ask myself, like, what's the toughest movement that he can what's like the most accessible things that he can cover? And based on this position, like, he's doing his positioning here tells me that if he's going to be preparing for the straight in where he can run in fair or the grab, like by going this way, because like he set up that position. So it's being very self-conscious, like, hey, like, what is he trying, what is his positioning showing that he wants to cover? And it's going to be these two options very likely.
Hmm.
Like if he wanted to cover a high, like if he was reading a high, then he'd probably be playing a little bit more back and trying to play for the back air.
Okay.
So in this position, and you're at 117, which isn't bad. So if you recover high and you get behind Sheik and she throws a back air at you, you're not going to die. You still have another chance at resetting the recovery and living.
Hmm.
Still, I don't really blame you for going to the ledge, but that's just like one other thing to consider.
No, it is a New York Fox thing, so. Yikes.
Oh no! So big things costed you. You turn in this stock too. You turn a position where you have invulnerability. You just got your stock back, and you end up getting grabbed. That's the one last thing you don't want to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how it all unfolds. Let's see. That's a really tricky spot because I don't know if. I guess it kind of looks like you could have punished him, and you just whiffed.
Yeah, I thought I'd get like a dash more, to be honest, but I think he would have crouch canceled my nair anyway, so it was the wrong move.
At 74, it's actually not. I don't know if he could crouch cancel it at 74. I don't remember percentages. It's a weird spot. All right, let's see if you could have edge guarded here. I'm wondering here. This is like a really weird spot too. If Sheik ever jumps into me like that, I think that's a free shine. There's a difference between him jumping into ledge and him up being onto ledge. Okay. I think he could have shined.
Mm-hmm. Like right there, yeah.
So risky. Did you miss your shine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's unfortunate. So another just kind of tech flub. I mean, the whole point, like the good thing here is that, like, if you just kind of nailed your punishes a bit better, like this is definitely doable for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like these games could have been really close. They were pretty close actually, and they're very winnable for you.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens here. I think this is called classic Fox wants to get a kill too much and throws out hitboxes and gets punished.
Yeah, I'm trying to fix that now because this was done like a month ago.
Yeah.
So I realized that I just fish way too often with that up smash.
Yeah. And JFlex made the right play here, right? Because like, if he's confident in his SDI, he'll give you a grab and not the on the up smash.
Mhm.
So tech flub. So realize that he's very likely going to cover and make sure he doesn't get up smash just by virtue of like how big a up smash would be. And
Yeah.
here you just tried to like run in too much. You're like, oh, I want to spam shine and hit him. I think you could have shined actually. You could have probably grabbed the second jab.
Mhm.
But you're just like, oh, like I need to go in, I need to go in, I need to go in. And I feel like JFlex is the type of player that like capitalizes on people that are desperate to go in.
Yeah. Because the main person I really like, or that like helps me out is Beerman.
Okay.
And so those like up smashes are like they're meant to like catch like him and sort of those type of like players who like to jump in. But I'm definitely not giving J Flex like the respect that he deserves.
Yeah. A little bit of risky spots here. I just want to point out, even when something works, it's like not always like good just because it works, and I'll explain why. So you get a shine here, right? Or you're gonna get an aerial on his shield, I believe.
And I jab.
Like he spammed shield grab because he was hoping that the risk reward makes sense for him because if he gets that grab, he can add 40. He already has a big lead. So not in the world, but like if he held shield, you're done. Like you double jab into his shield, or he crouch cancels your shield, like he gets a grab.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like we got kind of lucky there that he was fishing for a shield grab, but realized that even though you got the hit there, that it was very risky.
Okay.
All right, let's see if you. So once again, the only thing so this is a little bit different. You're going to be wanting to give the dash attack here and not the grab because the percentages are different. And so look at JFlex. He knows that too. He's like, I want to grab. He doesn't get it, but realize that because the percentages are different, he's going to try for a grab instead of, going for a dash attack.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why he did that. Okay, so this is like actually like a really good spot. So the one thing that's like I don't really like, I actually do not like doing this as Sheik, is full hopping needles. Because the moment like I commit to the double jump, the Sheik is done. Like,
yeah,
I think you could have even like
up smash or
that's actually a little tough because you ended up jumping first. But if you didn't end up committing to a nair there, I think you could have just like got underneath her and done dirty things.
okay. Yeah, there was no reason to throw out that nair.
But even then, let's say like, okay, so what you could do differently to keep your movement. Let's say you're not confident in getting a hit. Instead of holding a shield there, because that ends any possibility of hitting him for the most part, unless he does a really badly spaced aerial.
Mm-hmm.
As we go here, right?
Yeah.
I will dash dance just outside of fair range.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I commit to that shield, I'm done on being able to bait the forward air. Because he hits my shield with forward air, I can't punish it. But instead, if I could dash dance just outside the drift, and he commits to a forward air and lands, then I have him. I can drill, and either he gets hit by it or he's in shield, and I can apply shield pressure.
Okay.
Oh, no punish there. Like the idea? You're low percentage. Yay. Up tilt. Yes. So here, this is a little different.
The situation, because this happens to me against Sheik and Falco, where I'm right there trying to bait out their aerial, but they throw out a needle or a laser.
Okay, so this is where the magic triangle comes in. So here, if I can get underneath that magical triangle, then I'm going to go in really deep. Because I can either up air, up tilt, or back air the Sheik. So the moment he commits there, or like does a second jump, I'm running in. Like underneath. But because you did 2 extra dash dances, you end up getting caught.
Could you just draw that out? just so I can see it again.
Let's see. So it's right here.
Yeah.
Even then, like one needle's not gonna hurt you. So let's see.
Like when you say go deep, like keep going more.
Yeah,
in.
go underneath Sheik outside that
Okay.
triangle. Let's see.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
at the base of the right when I see that second jump, let's see. Right there, I would have done it.
Okay.
Let's see. Let me look. I'm running forward, because even if Sheik doesn't choose to jump there, like I take all her space. But you did the one extra dash dance.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that you shouldn't have jumped. That's what caught you.
Did I jump?
You did.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. Right at the end of it, you decide to jump.
Okay.
And
I know it's not a Sheik matchup, but a similar situation with Falco. But I can't take the space under, right? Because he can dare. Or I guess I could, but I would have to run in shield, right?
if you're playing for the dare, it's a kind of a mix-up game. If you can go in and drill Falco's shield immediately after dare, you win.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you
If he comes down with a laser.
let's say if he comes down with the laser, then you full hop into him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but don't do it slow enough that he ends up recovering with up tilt. But if he comes down with laser, then you can outposition and full hop into him. It's like a little bit of a weird mix-up.
Okay.
Or if Falco's like all the way up there, I'm playing for a back air on this side because Falco's like diagonal hitboxes, like bottom left and bottom right. He can't really cover those spots very well. So you can go underneath and shark a back air.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Sharking with back air is like really good. Just like if you want like a good example, like look at anyone who plays against like Hungrybox's Jigglypuff and look at how they space back air.
Mm-hmm.
Get the back air game on. Back air is really good. All right, you unfortunately get grabbed here, and the story of this match is that you got grabbed
3 times.
at 0%.
2 times.
Yeah, and all very preventable grabs too. Here, I always react. Let's see. Here, the only thing is the shoehorn because dash attack. Uh-oh, we lost the call. Just a moment. Doesn't seem to be on my end. You guys can hear me, right? Poker streamer. I'll be playing Hearthstone. It's unfortunate. New York internet's been sketchy all week. Feels bad. No. Your internet's chilling. Alright, his circuit breaker broke.
Hi, sorry about that.
Oh yeah, no problem. I was worried it was my internet.
No, no, it was my internet. The circuit breaker switch like flipped on or something.
Okay. All right. I should probably share my screen with you.
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. So yeah, you got grabbed 3 times,
Hmm.
and um, oh, what were we talking about? We're talking about shoehorn, right? Because when
Yeah.
you're in this spot, really the only 2 things that can really get you just outside of forward tilt range is um, dash attack and grab.
Hmm.
So as soon as you see Sheik running at you like that, just drill and throw a hitbox in front of her.
Hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
J-Flex loves spamming dash attack. But it makes sense. The risk reward's nice. Oh no, you committed.
That cost me like 50%.
Yeah. All right. No reason to commit there. Not gonna hit, and you lost your positioning.
Can we rewind that? What?
Let's see. So you got to up smash on his dash away.
Hmm.
No reason to up air there. You would have not hit that ever, and you didn't get the inside track.
Is there a way to shark for it, or should I just have stayed on?
Let's see. So what I would do if I were in your shoes is I'd stand right around where you are right now.
Hmm.
Wait for Sheik to come down a little bit, and just imagine like if the distance at roughly you can double jump hit her, or the vertical height. As soon as she's roughly going to hit that point, you full hop once underneath her.
Okay.
You're way too early there.
Okay. So I have to wait for her
Like
to.
right, like maybe like when she appears on the very top of the screen is when I'd start doing my first jump. Maybe
Mhm.
even later than that, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but you did it way too early. That you're. Let's see. Because now, like, let's see. Let's like play this out. Like you're committed there,
Hmm.
but like you don't have anything that you can cover. Either you're gonna have to land back, and she kind of gets an inside track, and if she fast falls, she might be able to land safely, or you double jump and you're nowhere near her.
Okay. So how can I like exercise? Because I feel like a common theme so far after watching these two matches is like there are situations clearly where I can stop and take space or take position and like keep that advantage. I just ruin it by getting too antsy or
Um,
something unnecessary. Is like how can I practice like actively practice that? You know,
I mean,
I
that's
just
a good question, right? Because I mean, that's a very good question, and that's like probably like one of the magic formulas of neutral game. Like, once you can get that down very well, you understand the neutral game. To answer that question, you just play around with it. Like, right before you go in a situation where you're maybe at an advantage, you ask yourself, like, can I realistically hit this person? And if the answer is no, you play for position, and if it's yes, I can hit them, then you play for the hit.
okay. Hmm. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get netplay started up hopefully next week. So I'm hoping to just like practice my neutral game on it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's just costing me a lot of. It's costing me a lot, pretty
Yeah.
much.
So yeah, you're playing for the hit in certain situations. I think the key thing is like you have a lot of good stuff too. Your shine game needs to improve a lot. Your wave shine punishes need to improve a lot, and I think it's just like a lack of just experience, to be perfectly honest. But like every time you go in or you think you're good, just like ask yourself, like just like record your matches, like watch yourself and go like, was I actually like really good? So I guess like where we come down to is like when you're in an advantaged position and somehow you lose that advantage or you get hit, or like your approach didn't work, you should reset it to the position that you're in before you initiated and ask yourself realistically, could I have actually hit this person?
Hmm.
And if the answer is no, then your engagement was probably going to be really very low. There's going to be a very unlikely chance it was going to hit.
Hmm.
So that's my general rule of thumb.
Okay.
Alrighty. So that's like, been in about an hour. Do you have like any other questions before we close this?
Yeah, so I guess like in terms of like taking position and stuff like that, not that I'm like really aiming to play a certain way, but what's like the difference between aggressively taking position versus more passively doing it? Because
Uh,
like Fox can be played like a lot of different ways, so I'm just wondering about the nuances of that because just thinking about it.
okay. So I think it really comes down to how aggressively you interpret their dash. Because like we went over, when you're in pure neutral, in a sense, like you both have your dash dancing available to you guys.
Hmm.
Um, People, I mean, when you're dash dancing, especially in Sheik, it's a very low risk position. So the people that are a little bit more aggressive are going to try to cut them off into a stage. We call that like maybe like shepherding or herding them into a corner without actively committing, but you're actively playing to push them to the side. Passively is more like you're kind of looking for them to make a mistake in the dash dance game. So you're not proactively trying to push them into a corner as much as like you're kind of going into their range, but like fading back very often. So rather than pushing forward, you're going to be going into their range and then playing back, playing low commitment in a way that like you're trying to get them to commit to throwing out a move first.
Hmm.
Whereas when you're playing a little bit more aggressive, it's realizing, hey, like they may not commit to move and they might dash away, and you're looking to play to not necessarily bait them into doing an attack, but more so baiting them into dashing away and then taking away all that stage from them.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And to like efficiently like wall out someone, because that's something I'm not really familiar with. You have to like just from my or like from what we talked about, sort of like I need to first realize like what are their like respective ranges first, like
Yeah.
what are the options, and then be right outside of that to throw out aerials.
Yeah.
Is that sort of the gist of the idea? Like
Yeah.
it's just the basics, but
Walling out, I mean, because like when they have their dash and they have their wave dash, like with Luigi, right? You have to realize that their range is their hitbox plus the wave dash, right?
yeah.
And to wall out really well is you're doing it in a way that the spacing is so good that even if they wave dash in to you and throw that aerial, they're going to barely miss, and you're going to be able to hit them.
Okay.
That's what really good walling out is.
Hmm.
Walling out is also like in some ways could be preemptive, although in melee it's hard to be really successful with that unless like you're not hungry box, unless like you're Jigglypuff or you have a really good hitbox that's not really risky to throw out, where you throw out hitboxes in a way that like either one of two things happen: they don't go into you, or they don't run into you, or B, if they run into you, like they're gonna get hit.
Hmm.
Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
Hungry Jigglypuff is like the best example of that, of like walling, but that's because the back airs, because of the ability for Hungrybox to pull back, or Jigglypuff players to pull back. It's a relatively safe wall. Not
Mhm.
all characters really have that luxury.
Okay.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, thank you for helping out Genesis 4. It was really fun to do this with you, and we'll have this up on YouTube.
Awesome. Yeah, and thanks so much for all the help of like really breaking it down because these are some of the questions I've been like thinking about since this game or like very recently, but it's hard to like put it into words when I don't really understand the concepts fully or like the micro situations.
Yeah, of course. And it's like really hard to run through. It's like, I mean, there's like many aspects to like core fighting game fundamentals that like aren't unfortunately really taught very well. So yeah, thank you.